Bulls Nation, I don't know what I've just experienced, but at this point in time, it is 4:17 in the morning for me here in Australia. But for whatever reason, I'm awake. And I got to experience some Bulls news, some Bulls trade rumors. And this time, these trades are going through. And we've got our second option. We've got our second piece of the pie. And the Chicago Bulls might have just won the trade period, in my opinion. This is going to be a massive trade for the Chicago Bulls. But is it all positive? Let's talk about this big news the Chicago Bulls have just experienced, and let's do it in this video. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today, we've got some big news for the Chicago Bulls. On the dying hours of the trade deadline, the Chicago Bulls have made their decision and have pursued a trade. And this trade is for an all-star. He was an all-star this season, and the Chicago Bulls has sent out a big package deal for this player to bring in some serious competition to this team, and also to bring that second option, potentially even first option for this team. And we've got a lot to talk about in this retrospect, so let's just see how well the Chicago Bulls have done. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls trade that just happened an hour ago. And I can't believe at 4:17 in the morning I am awake and I got to experience such a trade that I honestly didn't think I would experience until late in the afternoon. But thankfully, I was awake to see this, and thankfully, I will be making this video now, and I don't care about the sleep because this is big news. Let's talk about the trade, why don't we? If you guys have not already noticed, or you guys have not realized, the Chicago Bulls have traded for an all-star center that used to play for the Orlando Magic in Nikola Vucevic, who is an all-star center, a very good offensive center, a center that destroyed the Bulls when we first versed them. And we had to give up a lot, to be honest, to get a player like Nikola Vucevic. So let's discuss what we gave up. First of all, we gave up Wendell Carter, a tremendous piece of the Chicago Bulls, but one that has not been consistently playing for the Chicago Bulls. He's always been injured. He's always had injury concerns, and I still believe, and I promise you when I say this, I still have faith that wherever Wendell Carter lands up after Orlando or during Orlando, he will have a tremendous career ahead of him. But unfortunately, maybe this was the new time for Wendell to get a move and to kind of start his career over again in many ways. But we gave up potential for an already made superstar now, or an already made all-star now in Wendell Carter. We also gave up Otto Porter, who was making $28 million over the course of this year alone. And I'm not surprised to see Otto Porter in any trade package in relation to the Chicago Bulls. That is something that was bound to happen, let's be honest. Again, once he got injured this season, we all kind of figured that his time in the Chicago Bulls was coming to an end. And it's not surprising to see him being put and implemented in a trade to go anywhere. And of course, hopefully, once again, similar to the other players that we discussed, Wendell Carter, hopefully he can start his career over with Orlando and have a good career there, and best in your future endeavors to both players. And now moving over to the picks, we gave up a 2021 first round pick, which is this upcoming draft's pick for the Chicago Bulls, which is honestly something I'm not too happy about, to be honest. I don't really want to get rid of that pick, but at the end of the day, I guess you have to make sacrifices. We're a team that wants to make the playoffs now. This is the way with this player that is going to come in. This is the way to do it. Unfortunately, we can't get everything we want in life. And this is definitely a trade I'm very happy about. And sometimes there are things in trades that I'm not too happy about. The first round pick for the 2021 draft is going to be probably the biggest loss in my opinion. I know Wendell Carter is a potential asset for the Orlando Magic now, and Otto Porter I don't really feel is a big asset to lose at all. But the 2021 first round pick is something that I do think is a big asset that we will be giving away, but it could definitely be worth it. So that is something to look out for in the future to see if we've won this trade or not. And we also gave up the 2023 first overall pick. To be honest, I'm not bothered about 2023 right now. I'm a very very short-minded person. I'm focusing on this season. 2023 is 2 seasons away. By then, we could be a contending team. By then, we could be rebuilding all over again. We don't know at this point in time. So 2023 first round pick, that doesn't bother me. If we really wanted to enter the 2023 draft in the lottery, we can trade for that. So that's not something I'm really worried about. But the 2021 first round pick is something I am definitely concerned about. But look at who we got in return. Firstly, let's talk about Al-Farouq Aminu. This player has been in the league for quite some time. I remember even when I started watching, this guy was still in the league. It feels like he's been in the league forever. But he's a good defensive-minded player. He's a player that I believe can use his hustle, use his defensive prowess to really elevate the Bulls' defense, which is something that has been slacking over the course of the season. We are not a terrific defensive team. I think Al-Farouq Aminu can help with that. I don't like his jump shot, and I don't think anybody that has Al-Farouq Aminu on their team likes his jump shot, but he is going to be a solid bench option for this team, and we need more bench options like, of course, an Al-Farouq Aminu to help with this team. So I don't mind this one at all. And just looking at the contract at this point in time for Al-Farouq Aminu, it's not a bad contract. I mean, it may be, depending on what you guys believe, this could potentially be a bad contract. But for the 2020-21 season, he'll be making $9 million. This season's basically already really over. This might affect some free agency room if we are trying to pursue more players. Adding $9 million on and getting rid of Otto Porter, you're adding $9 million over the course of 2 years. And the 2021-2022 season, he'll be making $10 million. So in the end, we've lost a little bit of leverage in free agency, but definitely not enough for us to be concerned. At the end of the day, we could have signed 2 max players for the Chicago Bulls in terms of the way the free agency was heading. And unfortunately, a lot of the superstars in that draft class is actually re-signed. So this is definitely a safer option for free agency, and this is definitely, in my opinion, a better option to bring a player like Al-Farouq Aminu, who could be a trade asset next season, or who could be a big contributor off the bench, or maybe even starting at times, who really knows. We could bring that elevation of a player like that into the team, and maybe that can help us in a variety of ways. He will be an unrestricted free agent in 2022. And last but not least, the player that you've all probably come into this video to discuss, the all-star that I'm discussing, the center from the Orlando Magic, and I'm sure you've already known this, but you're wanting to hear what I have to say about it, Nikola Vucevic. Nikola Vucevic, I believe, is 29 years old, and at the moment, he is an all-star for the Orlando Magic, or he is 30 actually by now, to be honest. And at this point in time, his contract goes all the way until 2023. He'll be an unrestricted free agent in the 2023 draft class, or free agency class, which means that he will have a few years with the Chicago Bulls, 2 years at least, or 2.5 years at least. And he is definitely making max or close to max money. He's making $26 million this year. Next season, he'll be making $24 million. And then the season after that, he'll be making $22 million. The Chicago Bulls have acquired an all-star center for multiple years to help the Chicago Bulls and elevate them to another level that I believe we truly need. At the end of the day, the Chicago Bulls team needed a second option. And I think Nikola Vucevic can very well be the first option for this team. But we needed another consistent scoring option on this team. I think that was an absolute must. And it makes it even sweeter that it is the center position that we have gone and traded for. The 2 positions that we've needed. And I believe the Bulls know this by now. And that's why this trade has gone through. And it's super exciting to discuss. A point guard and a center. Now, the point guard position, at this point in time, anything can happen. By 6 a.m. in the morning for me, we may have been trading for a point guard. But we got a position that was very well needed. We had to sacrifice a lot to do it, but we got a position that is very well needed. We got a little bit of security in the player that we're getting. We're getting a player that will be here for at least 2 or 3 seasons, which is big for the Chicago Bulls. And not only that, we've got our second option, potentially first option on the team. We have 2 all-stars on the team. We have really good, I guess, an upside now for the Chicago Bulls. At the end of the day, looking at both teams, firstly, I want to talk about the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic is blowing it up. From what I understand, they've traded Evan Fournier to Boston, they've traded Aaron Gordon to Denver, and they traded Vucevic to the Bulls. So there has been a massive overhaul in the Orlando Magic. They're starting their rebuilding process, and I'm very happy to see that they're starting their rebuilding process. At the end of the day, Orlando was always a team that I felt was really, really talented, and they have talented individuals, but they weren't really getting anywhere in the playoffs. They were always the 8th or 7th seed. They win one game, they get eliminated. That's been there for at least the last 2 years. That's been what they've been doing. So as a team that likes the Orlando Magic, I truly like the Orlando Magic. They're one of my favorite teams in the East to watch and discuss. They have been, their history. There's a lot of good things that come out of Orlando. And unfortunately, this just wasn't their time, and they decided that it was time to switch it up. At the end of the day, they're looking for a good draft pick. They're in a position to get a very high draft pick in this class. I think they decided that their future is in a rebuild and not a contender. They're just not a contender. So they decided to hit the reset button. And I feel like Orlando Magic in that way has won this trade. Because let's be realistic, they wanted draft picks. And they got 2 very good quality draft picks out of the Chicago Bulls. The 2021 first round pick, I'm assuming they still have their own pick as well. So they're going to have 2 2021 first round picks and the 2023 first round picks, assuming that they will still be around the bottom seeds within 2023. I think they won in what they wanted to do with all of their trades realistically. But the Chicago Bulls won as well. At the end of the day, we were a team that came into the season evaluating and retooling. That's what they came up and said. We wanted to push for a playoff spot. We are a super young team. Even still, we still have a 20-year-old Kobe White. We still have a 25 or 26-year-old Zach LaVine. We still have a 19-year-old Patrick Williams. We still have a 23-year-old Larry Markkinen. And we have a 29-year-old or 30-year-old center in Nikola Vucevic. We have a really young team still. And this is bringing veteran leadership. This is bringing another cornerstone into the team. This is bringing a second option. This is bringing everything that we've asked for. And going into free agency next season, we can still look for a very good point guard in free agency. Lonzo Ball is someone that I'm definitely looking at as someone, if we don't trade for him, could potentially be involved in our free agency plans. And we can really have a good team to discuss here over the course of many years for the Chicago Bulls. Again, it is up to the Chicago Bulls now. We've got the trade that many people have been asking for. So many people wanted Wendell to go. I personally am very sad to see him go. But for the greater cause of the Bulls, I'm not going to leave my personal feelings to a player affect my judgment of what the Bulls did today. Wendell Carter, I personally like him as a player, but I understand the Chicago Bulls were looking for something. They were looking for something to help take this team into the playoffs. If that means Wendell Carter or Larry Markkinen had to leave, then of course they had to leave, and we'll see them down the road in Orlando. But we've done it. We've made this trade. I'm just stunned. I'm actually stunned that we did something like this. And I'm very happy I got to experience it. I'm very happy that change did happen. At the end of the day, I've been talking for months and months and months on end that the Chicago Bulls won't make a trade. And on the last dying hours of the trade deadline, they made a trade. So I'm very happy that this team decided to do something. And once again, I always said, whatever the Bulls decide to do in terms of trades and free agency, I will support. This is definitely a deal I can get behind. This brings security, a potential, an all-star center coming into the Bulls. This allows Zach LaVine to have a little bit more freedom. He's not going to have all the pressure on him. Great sign to see. This is going to allow Thaddeus Young to move back into the bench probably, which we need. We need more bench scoring. Thaddeus Young does that. He's a veteran at the end of the day. We have so much potential here to rotate the team and to finally get some wins. At the end of the day, we're only going to have to wait and see how this goes. But I'm extremely happy with the changes they made. Bulls fans, we have got something that I think most people wanted. We got a center. This might not be Andre Drummond. This might not be that rim protecting center that we all want, but it's still a center that is an extremely highly talented player that is an all-star. So I'm extremely happy. And we might not be going for Andre Drummond anymore, but I think I'm very happy with Nikola Vucevic coming into this team. And again, I can't wait to see what this team is made of now. We're going to have so many game reactions now where we're going to be talking about Nikola Vucevic in the team. How could you not be excited about that? At the end of the day, maybe I am the only one excited about this, but I feel like so many of you are excited. So at the end of the day, please let me know in the comments below what you thought about this. I'm very sorry for the long video. I want to edit this and get some sleep, but maybe I won't even be able to sleep at this point. It's going to be pretty crazy, and there still could be potentially more things to come, so let's just wait and see how we go. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Have a wonderful and safe day. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Oh my, yeah, be happy. At the end of the day, there's not been too much to be happy about as a Bulls fan, but this is hopefully a step in the right direction for this team. Best of luck to Wendell, best of luck to Otto Porter, best of luck to the draft picks that we've given to the Orlando Magic or whoever they turn out to be. And let's see if Al-Farouq Aminu and Nikola Vucevic are the answer the Chicago Bulls have been looking for. Take care and peace.